What's up everyone, A here from Tech Review, and today we'll be reviewing and taking a look at the new portable DAC amp from Fosi Audio. It is the SK02. The SK02 is a very nice high value item. It's a portable DAC and amp. It has a DAC chip from ESS and it comes with this chunky piece of aluminum that you will never expect it to be sold at this price for. It's actually amazing. It's kind of heavy and sits on your desk. It's very hefty, and you get your box, you get your nice manual. It has everything you need in it. It's actually explained in quite the detail, and you get this nice USB-C cable to USB-C with this adapter that turns it into USB-A. That is quite nice. Now I will connect that, turn it on, and come back. Alright, I'll connect it now, let you see how it works, explain how to use it quickly, and tell you my experience with the functions, use, and sound. So I'm going to put the USB-C here. It's a normal DC 5 volts. It didn't work with my phone. It needs something strong for the power, or you can get a splitter. It draws a lot of power. This one doesn't have a battery. So the first thing we see here is you get this nice indicator for the green. You get your gain button to change from the left high and low. You get your mode, optical input, USB input, and you get your PCM rates, and this controls the playback. So as you can see, it started, I connected to the PC and it started playing music. And now pause the music and I'll explain something here quickly. Let's start quickly with the input. You have two inputs. You have your USB and you have your optical input. So optical input is nice, and I will say how to use it in a second. And then you have like three outputs. You get like the phone output, the 3.5mm headphone output. You get the balanced 4.4 headphone output, and then you get here, it's actually like 2-in-1, a combo. You get an aux out, which is 3.5mm, and then you get an optical out here at 3.5. How to use that, I will show you in a second. This one is actually optical. It has a rubber, and I will show you how to use it in just a second. So if you're not using it, you just put this rubber back, and voila. Now let me speak quickly first about a few things. These lights are extremely well and helpful and very nice. And the other thing here you will notice is this volume knob, which is as a volume knob. This is not a potentiometer. This is a rotary encoder. By that also you get, what I mean is you get a few things different than a potentiometer. I wish they included here an indicator of some kind, but it's kind of difficult because unlike a potentiometer where it saves the position each time, this works digitally. And you can see here, if you go, it doesn't go from 0 here to 100 here. You need to go a few rounds to reach that. The negative point of this is that you need to go a few rounds in order to reach high volume. The positive point of that is that it's very high resolution volume control. You can go by simple steps. The volume knob itself is very good. It's chunky. You can grab it. You can see here the height. It's very well made. It functions also. It has other two functions. Is if you press while connecting to your PC, Windows and Mac, if you press here like this, you can see even here the light. If I raise the volume, I'll explain that. It starts to play and pause first. Let's talk about that. It starts playing and pausing. Now, if you double clicks like this, like that, this turns mute on and off. So, and if you hold it, press and hold for 3 seconds, that's your on and off button. So this is how this basically works, and you get your gain and you get your modes on easy. Now while playing, if you notice, if I raise the volume, if you notice, let me see, now it's playing. If you notice, there is a red and blue which gets to purple color here on this. The more I raise it, the more it turns even into white, and the more I lower it, the more it gets into blue and red, as you can see. What is that light? I thought it is a clipping indicator, but according to Fosi, it indicates the high volume. It indicates that you're using high volume, and it's just like a warning. As you see, if I raise the gain, it becomes almost white, which is the bad part. I'm not connecting it. I don't recommend you do that. So, but I want to show you how it looks like, and this to me is like a guide for the volume here. I wish there was any indication of the level of the volume, because I don't know. Even when I max it, I don't know. Is it loud or is it the max? So there's that point. Now, how to use this? I will show you how to use it and explain the sound after that. To use this, you have a few options here. You can use USB input, DC, USB-C, and that's it. And you connected it, and then you can use the headphone output or the balanced one, whatever you like. This is 3.5, this is 4.44. Makes it easy for everyone, and done. That's the first AD, no drivers necessary. It works great. You control the volume from here. You can see the sample rates you're doing, the DSD or whatnot, and so on. So you want high gain, you use the high gain, and you're done. Now, if you want to use something like the other inputs, for example, let's see the optical input. Now, if you want to use the optical input, you can use something like the optical input and listen to the music, which is very good. Done. You can control volume, no problem. And then you can use this here as output from one output. You can choose what to do. I will explain to you how I used it and how I tried it. Now, you could use this as a volume control or a preamp for speakers. How to do that? You just take this off and you connect a splitter. You can find these adapters, they're easily found. They are a 3.5 millimeter and they have female inputs of RCA, so you can connect RCA and it becomes a 3.5, and you insert it here, and then it goes out into two RCAs that you connect to your speakers, and then voila, you control the volume here. You put it on your desk and you control the volume. Easy, done. Another thing is, for example, the optical. You can use the optical from your TV. You connect it and you control it from here. Done. So, which brings us to the third point, how to use the optical output, and why would I want to use that? It is another output. You can connect it to another DAC you have, another streamer, things like that, if you want to have like something to control. And what you do is, like, I got one of these cables I use from SK02. It's like a mini Toslink, 3.5 millimeter to an optical. And what you do is just you take this is a 3.5 millimeter, and you just like that, and boom, done. And then you take this, you can see now it has the red light, like I don't know guys if you can see that, but it has the red light here. You can see it's working, and you connect this and you boom, you have an optical connection at the cost, like it's like crazy to talk about it. Even one thing to keep in mind, if you're going to use it like that, you can only use USB input if you want to use the optical output, and the volume control will not work anymore. So that's what I wanted to say about this topic. So this is the USB, and the optical you control from here, and that's basically it. That's basically it as the connections. So you have here one output you can use for two types of different connections, and you have another this is the output. You have one output for two connections, and you have two inputs, USB and optical, and you have your headphone outputs or the analog. I didn't test, and I don't know if the analog outputs here for the headphones work at the same time as the other output from the aux one. I didn't try that. I could try for you guys if any of you are interested, but I don't know if they will work at the same time or no. Although if it does, you can just disconnect your headphone output and done. So that's it. Last thing I will speak about this is two things, actually not one. First I will say the sound, and then I'll say what I like about this one. The sound here, the sound is very good. It's very powerful. Balance, it is very powerful. I tested the noise. Let me get this first because it is the most impressive part here. The noise, you put this, don't ever do this. I don't recommend it. You just turn high gain. And I used an IM I don't even want because I don't care if something happens to it. And let me tell you, no noise at all. Zero. This is an achievement in itself from Fosi Audio. Like the signal to noise ratio is over 120 dB. That's really high. And that shows. And by the way, I did this test over USB. So no ground issues or anything, but I'm just saying, so, you know, optical is even going to be quiet as a mouse. Another thing is the sound here. The signature is warm, is smooth. If I could describe it, I would say it's tubey. It's like a tube. It's not the most resolving DAC amp, but it's very detailed, and it has a lot of warmness to the sound. The bass is emphasized and enhanced, and the male vocals and everything is just exactly like it feels or sounds like you're listening to something like an analog tube. I don't know. That's my impression of the sound. When I turn to other sources and other DACs and amps I have using the same chip, they seem very sharp and analytical, and I'm like, wow, like the Fosi SK02 had the highs very under controlled and very smooth. That's something I like. It's very comfortable. It is very loud. This is the reason I mentioned the noise. I will say quickly because I wanted to say that unlike many value or budget minded products in this range, this one actually I recommend it for IEMs. That's why I say that. Usually something in that range will have one of things that prevent me from recommending it: a higher output impedance and a higher noise level. Here the noise level is really low and the output impedance is low, and it's very good. And with headphones, this actually, on the balance, this actually shines. You get actually a very versatile device that you can use with a very nice amount of details. As I said again, it's not the most resolving, but the tubes also are not the most resolving. Sound is very smooth, very enjoyable, and very loud no matter what you use, unless you get into the higher ohm area. Like anything over 150, my opinion, it will not extract the max of it. So 150, actually, you don't need this one. This is best used as a preamp to control your speakers. This is best used as a desktop DAC amp for your balanced and unbalanced IEMs and headphones. With a click of a button, you play and pause and mute and control your volume. This can be connected to a TV or anything where you want to control the volume easily and you don't want to pay too much just to get a DAC and an amp, and just need a good volume wheel and maybe even a DAC and an amp, which is amazing at this price. And this is also used if you want to have something that's portable but with an optical input, or you want to use something that has an optical output. So this is actually the most value device I ever have and I've ever seen. Tell me a device that comes close to the price of the Fosi SK02 that even has 1/10 of the function that this has. Like, I have another DAC amp, some portables and whatnot, but nothing comes close to the price and value of this one. This one, you can have it. It's a great device. If you, for example, you want to go to Can Jam, if you want to go these audio shows, if you want to go visit a friend and compare IMs or something, this is very easy, just in your pocket, and works. And I give it actually my recommendation. Excellent job from Fosi Audio. This is the first product for me to test for them, and it gets a thumbs up from me. So that has been A for this review. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you find it helpful. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions, and thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video and this channel. So until then, see you in the next one. Stay positive.